Hello, brave soul, and welcome to the Grateful Growth Summit. I'm Atlantis Wolf, and today I'm going to talk to you about my starting point, how I lost 85 pounds using radical love, forgiveness, and acceptance. When my son was about to be born, my first child, I have two children, I was at my heaviest weight. I'm 5'3" on a good day, and I was over 200 pounds. I was a happy person, healthy pregnancy, healthy baby, but I had always been heavy and I had not held back when it came to eating for my son. I was also working in a corporate environment. For anyone who's worked in a cube or in the cube land, there's often people bringing in bakery, snacks. People have candy dishes at their desk. They have chips, they have muffins. Lots of meetings are lunch meetings, going out. There's happy hours. There's so many opportunities to overeat and be overserved with food and sort of everything that goes along with being in a social environment that's blended in with business goals. So I gained weight where I was already heavy in college. I had already gained weight when I got a job out of college. My degree is in civil engineering. I have a dual degree in English, minor in environmental engineering. I went into environmental assessment work, ended up doing technical writing, project management work, and on until my life took a turn much later down the line. So I was heavy as a kid because my dad was an angry person and I was always sensitive. So I ate for comfort. And that was my solace. That was my place where I could go and eat a little Debbie snack cake, or which of course came in a 2-pack, 12 grams of sugar. I looked up later. I'm sorry, 12 grams of fat, an ungodly amount of sugar. But it gave me a momentary feeling of comfort. And that's what I needed at that time. But after my son was born, I quit my job. I was at home. My husband at the time was working. And at home, I could look at my life for the first time. I had a home, I had a husband, I had a newborn child, and it felt like a good time to check in with myself and say, are you happy? Is this what you want? What do you want to change? I thought of it as everything on my life was on a quilt. Imagine when you put a quilt out on the grass. If you have newborns or little babies, a lot of times you'll put down a blanket in the grass, in the living room, in the backyard, on the beach. I thought of my life as being all of these things on the quilt. But at that moment, and it was a moment, it was an actual moment where I was standing in my kitchen. I was between the kitchen and the dining room. My son, who was about 3 or 4 weeks old, was asleep. And I had this moment of thinking, I want to re-choose everything, as if I was taking the quilt and then tossing everything on the quilt up in the air. And I was going to imagine re-choosing things to put down and then letting everything else go. And at that moment in the kitchen, one of the first things that came up was my weight. I wasn't just heavy, I had just had a child. So there's hormone issues, there's extra weight, there's sort of everything is new. If you've had a baby, if you know anyone who's had a baby, their body is permanently changed. There may be a drive to make it look like it did before the baby, but that's ridiculous. I mean, after you bring a baby into the world, which is hard work and beautiful work and graceful work, you are forever changed in every way, you and the people around you. And my body was never going to be the same again. So I had to get to know my body. And I thought, this is it. I want to, for the first time in my life, look at my body honestly. I never felt comfortable in clothes. I felt like everything was pinched and tight. I actually felt more comfortable without clothes because nothing would constrict me. And at that moment, I had a realization, and I saw in my mind a starting line. Maybe you've seen a starting line at a race, at a marathon, conceptually. Here I am standing in my kitchen, and in front of me, it's as if the path I'm standing on had a white line, like a white chalk line, and in big letters, all capital letters, it said starting line. This is where I'm starting. And at that moment, I said, well, I can't start the way that I've started in the past, which was to say, I have to stop eating or start eating or look at what I'm eating or exercise more or exercise less or get up early or stay up late, all these things. Nothing had worked. And everything that did work was temporary. It wasn't permanent. I was feeling a permanence. When I saw that starting line, I had a moment of exhale. I completely just exhaled. I exhaled the difficulties of my childhood, the sensitivities, the the hardships, the successes. It just all washed away. And I had a moment of complete peace where I accepted myself, everything about myself. Every decision I had ever made led me to this kitchen with this baby under these circumstances. And I decided at that moment to radically accept every single choice. Too much drinking, old habit of smoking cigarettes while drinking, partying, too much pizza, too much macaroni and cheese, whatever it was. I looked at all of it and I said yes. I made those decisions consciously or unconsciously. And now I accept them all. And at that moment, I could feel there was like a flutter throughout my body. There was an actual cascading, energetic flow of energy that started at my head, went down my neck, down my ribs, down my hips and legs, and out my feet. I think if I had weighed myself at that moment, I would have lost 10 pounds because there was such a relief. There was this feeling of washing away the shame, the guilt, the not looking good, not feeling good, not being present because I was thinking about how my body looked. And that was the moment that I turned and said, what does my body want? Instead of what am I deciding to do outside to in, I went inside to out. And so I'm going to share with you a simple way that you can start to do this. Right now, write down pen and paper, not on a laptop or anything like that. Go into your heart and let it flow down your hand, right-handed, left-handed. Write down 5 things you love about yourself. This is where this radical love, acceptance, and forgiveness starts. Start with love. Write down 5 things you love about yourself. It could be small. I love my hair. I love my laugh. I laugh like my mom, who passed away in 2009. So I love my laugh. Maybe you love the way you make chocolate chip cookies. Maybe you love the way you look in certain clothes. Maybe you love your fingernails. Maybe you love how long your legs are. Think about it. Be kind to yourself. Something about you, uniquely you. Not, I love the way I give all my time away to other people. No, 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 no. It's not about them. It's about you. We're going to pull it back to you for a minute. Love, love, love. What do you love? Even secretly. You could secretly love your eyes, your eyelashes. You could love a particular line on your body. You could love the way you dance. So many things. So write down 5 things you love and very, boom, boom, boom. Don't overthink it. This is not brain surgery. This is an exercise. And then write down 5 things you don't love about yourself. That could be simple. That could be that you feel short-tempered, you feel like you rush through your day, you don't like the fact that you don't journal or don't read enough. Um, you don't love the fact that you do give away all of your time. So write those down. And again, top 5, first 5, forget the top. There's no superlative, just 5 things. You don't love the way you start projects and don't finish them. Speaking for myself, no judgment. Um, and when you get those down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, move on and write down 5 things that you would fix or change or heal about yourself. Five things like I would fix the way I stay up late scrolling on social media instead of getting a good night's sleep. Something simple. I would heal my anger at my sister. I don't have a sister. I'm just making that up. I'm trying to give you some examples. These are simple examples. Fix, heal, change. What would you change about yourself? Would you change anything? It could be simple, it could be big, it could be small. What would you change about yourself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause if you have to, but please don't overthink it. My goal is not to get you shaming or analyzing. My goal is to give you an exercise, something to try. When you have those written down, I want you to go back, please, and look at that list. I want to know in this moment, when you see that list outside of you, it could have been running around your head for a long time, but when you look at that list outside, now that it's there in front of you, look at what you don't love for a moment and ask yourself, put your hand on your heart, look at that list. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. One more breath. Breathe in what you need. Breathe out what you don't need. Look at that list. And for this moment in time, for a split second, could you love what you don't love about yourself? It's just between you and you. No one will ever know. And then look at the list. Look at what you want to change. Breathe into that and breathe out. For a split second in time, with your heart open, can you accept yourself as you are without those changes? Can you look at the totality of yourself, the pretty parts and the smelly parts, as I love to say, and for this moment in time, radically accept, although I would like to change these, I accept they are part of me. Breathe into the acceptance and open your mouth and breathe out. And lastly, look at what you love about yourself. Can you forgive yourself for what you love about yourself? And the reason I'm asking is that this is what you prioritize. If you love that you're 50 years old and you still have a 32-inch waist, you may judge other women who are 50 and don't have a 32-inch waist. You may be using this to judge other people. It may not be enough for you to love that about yourself, but you may be using it as a yardstick, as a measurement of who you admire, adore, care for. Do you give more care to people who have the same values that you do, who look like you, who believe what you believe? Forgive yourself in this moment for what you love about yourself. To understand you are complete. There is more to you than just this. And here is the time of transformation because you are now sovereign and are understanding the totality of this moment. You are infinite potential. And now that you have called back the power of the parts you don't like and don't want to look at, and you accept the parts that need help, and you forgive yourself for what you already think is quite delightful and lovely, because you understand it's also part of this ball of totality of who you are. Now you can do anything because you're whole and complete. You are inside yourself. You have all the power. For me, I started to ask my body what it wanted to eat, when, and how much. I stopped eating dessert and sweets after dinner, and then I stopped eating sweets and desserts after lunch. I stopped eating flour. That's pasta, bread, muffins, and I did not do any gluten substitute kind of a thing. No, I just ate what my body wanted, which is no fillers, no substitutes. My body wants fruits, vegetables, fish, sometimes chicken, sometimes steak, cut up on a steak salad. It doesn't matter what my body wants. What matters is that I sat down and started to ask about everything doing with my body. How much did my body want to sleep? Did my body want to exercise in the morning or in the evening? In the morning, right when I wake up. I'll give you a bonus tip. Plan to win the day. Give yourself the grace to do a few things and then take off the rest of the day. No points awarded. So plan to win the day. And it goes like this. Happiness, health, wisdom, and wealth come to me today. Do one thing to make you happy, one thing for your health, one thing for your spiritual growth, one thing for your abundance and prosperity, and one thing you don't want to do. After you do one thing in each of those categories, call it a day. You're done. The day is won. You are successful. Congratulations. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I'm Atlantis Wolf, and I believe in you.